Hi guys, hi there, how are all of you? I hope you are fine. Well, my name is Yusuf and I'm back on Yusuf Reacts. Well guys, today I'm back again with a very interesting movie review that is there for you guys. Well, the movie that we're going to be talking about as far as today is concerned is going to be a movie that is again going to be targeting something that is, I would say, one of the biggest topics that everyone, especially when we talk about humans, they are concerned about, and that is about time travel. Now this is something which is a very interesting, very nice and really good kind of a romantic love story that's there of a particular time traveler who eventually falls in love with a particular girl, and the thing that is there is this, that girl also is just someone who can not live without this particular guy. Knowing that that person is a time traveler, she gets attracted towards him, and this is how the storyline actually moves on. The movie that we are going to be talking about as far as today is concerned is going to be The Time Traveler's Wife. Now this movie, if I talk a bit about it, is having a lot to offer. Now when I say the word it has a lot to offer, it means that there are a lot of things that this movie obviously do fascinate us. This movie starts off with what, or how does this movie actually start off? This movie starts off with a particular lady who is a very famous singer that's there. She has a very good voice, and she is going on Christmas Eve with her son in the car. Both of them are going on, and because of the fact that it's snowing all the way around, the weather is very pleasant, they are singing and they're going along. The thing which tends to happen is what? The thing which tends to happen is this, that suddenly there is a certain kind of a truck that is coming from front. Now that truck is something that because of the snow is unable to control itself. And eventually the thing which tends to happen is this, that because the truck is unable to control and it's sliding directly towards the car. Now the thing that tends to happen is that before the collision, this boy actually tends to be too much afraid. He puts his eyes near his head, and eventually when he does that, he is not there in the car, and the car crashes. His mother dies, but he's not there. Now this is something which is again a bit of a concern for him, but then we see this thing up that there is another guy who pops up, and that guy eventually gives him something to cover himself and says, don't worry, you are eventually gonna get used to it because I am the future you, and I'm here to tell you this thing up that it's only a matter of time and you are gonna be fine, and each and everything goes on in that manner. So this is how the things eventually go along. Now from here the story eventually starts off, and when we talk about this particular thing in a bit more detail, we'll come to know about the things, how it eventually proceeded up, and that's how the movie actually then tends to go along. Whereas on the other way around, now we see this thing up that this guy is someone who is a time traveler, but the thing that tends to happen is this: whenever he travels back in time or in the future, the thing which tends to happen is this: he is unable to control it, and because of the fact he can't control that, so time travel tends to happen, but he doesn't know which time he's going. Where is he going? Is he going in the past? Is he going in the future? Is he going to be in the present for some time? He doesn't know that. Eventually he just vanishes out of nowhere, and wherever he reaches a certain particular place, he reaches there naked, and he then eventually, wherever he goes, he tries to steal the clothes and wear something from wherever he lands up, and that's how the things are eventually tending to go along. Now the thing which tends to happen is this, that there is a certain particular kind of a field which has meadows. We see a young girl who is there. She's someone who is there. She brings her blanket, she wants to read and stuff like that. Over there she comes across this guy for the first time. Now this guy is someone who tells her to bring the blanket because obviously he wants to cover himself up. And that is what the small girl, she eventually brings the blanket towards him. Because she brings it towards him, he eventually covers himself up. Now he says to the girl that I am a time traveler. Eventually the girl obviously does not believe what he's saying. She thinks that he's just joking and it's nothing as such. He says, okay, fine, you don't believe me, hold on, just see me vanish. And eventually the thing which tends to happen is this: she just stares at him and he goes away. So every time this tends to happen, and he tends to go to the particular place where he meets the girl. Now he's a time traveler and he doesn't know where is he gonna go, how is he gonna go, but the affection of that girl, since the time she grows up, she has for that particular guy. She really falls in love with him, in love with the particular guy. Now the thing which tends to happen is this, that like once she's obviously going for certain kinds of research because she wants to figure out about this thing up, she eventually comes across this particular guy working in a library, and she actually recognizes him, but he obviously does not, because that is that part of him where he is young and he eventually has not met her. Now the thing eventually then tends to go along in this particular manner. She says and invites him over for a particular dinner, and he actually is amazed to hear this thing up, that she takes the name of the favorite restaurant that he has. Now he's someone who is shocked, but he at the same time has this thing in his mind. So he agrees to it. They both have a very good time. They make out and each and everything is fine, because she has always seen the elder him. She has never seen the younger him. And eventually then he stays, he again goes, stays, goes. Now eventually there's a time when he realizes and she realizes that he eventually is in love with her also. So he proposes her out and wants to marry her. She's someone who obliges that particular thing up, because he is her, heartthrob. Means the one whom she has been loving from her childhood, he's that guy. So she agrees to the marriage and they both have a marriage. On the marriage day, before he could go for the marriage, he vanishes. Now again, an elder side of him eventually pops in that time. When he pops in that particular time, now the thing which tends to happen is this, that he marries her, and then again before they eventually could do the dance, he again vanishes. Then again he's back, but this time again he's the younger side of him. So this is how the things tend to go along. Means she hardly gets a chance to talk to him, because he never knows when he's gonna vanish, and she also doesn't know when he's gonna vanish. And that's how the things go along. In the future they plan a particular baby once, twice, thrice. Every time whenever she's gonna be pregnant, the baby is not there anymore. Now the thing which tends to happen is what? Now they are really on it, and he does not want to put her in so much pain, because she always has to suffer. And this time the doctors were serious. If she gets pregnant and if she has a miscarriage of any particular sort, because the baby actually vanishes from her womb. Now this is something which again is something, because the traits and the characteristics of him have passed on to her child. Now the thing that is there is, but somehow she eventually meets the young side of him, and eventually she makes out with him, whereas on the other way around, the elder side has done what? He has had a particular operation in which he's not going to be able to have a particular child, but eventually she makes out with the younger side of him when he visits him, and that's how the things eventually in the future he see a particular girl, small girl, and that is his daughter. So that's how the things eventually are. So he's very happy with it. Now comes the most interesting part of the movie. He knows that he's gonna be shot dead when his child is gonna be 5. And that is what is really going at the back of his mind. The thing which tends to happen is this, that he eventually vanishes during her birthday, and he ends up in a particular place where a guy is hunting a deer. He shoots the gun, but the gun actually hits him eventually, and he is shot by the gun. He eventually then again comes back in the same time, but he eventually dies. Now the movie actually was, I guess, finished over there because he's dead. But then at the end of it, we see this thing up, that now he was 38 when he died. It is a certain particular time when that girl is actually playing in the same meadows that were there. He actually comes out of nowhere, and the clothes that they were kept for him, so that whenever he actually comes, he could eventually be there, he could wear those clothes and stuff. So this is again another happening that tends to happen. That's how the story ends. They kiss each other. He kisses obviously his wife, he greets his child, and then again he vanishes. So this is how the story was, The Time Traveler's Wife. A very interesting kind of a movie if you guys have not gone for it. Guys, if you have still not subscribed to the channel, I bet you guys need to do that, because the content that I have is literally really unique. This is a kind of a content that you eventually don't get everywhere, so I want you to press that like button, also comment on my videos, and do share them as much as you guys can. This is me, Yusuf, saying goodbye to you people. Thank you very much for your time, guys. Take care. Bye bye.